Miss Rachel. I miss seeing you at the library, but as you know, we need to stay home so that we don't spread germs. So instead of doing story time together at the library, I'm making you this video. You can watch it whenever it's good for you. I'm used to doing this in the morning, so I'm gonna sing good morning everybody. If you need to change it to afternoon or evening while you're singing, go right ahead. Good morning everybody, good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Let's clap our hands like this. Clap, 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 clap. Let's stomp our feet. Good morning everybody, good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Let's stomp our feet like this. What else can I do while I'm also playing? I guess I can try waggling my head. Good morning everybody, good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Let's waggle our heads like this. Makes me dizzy. Okay, now you think of something and you're gonna do it in your own home and I'll just play along. But you do that thing that you thought of. Good morning everybody, good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Let's do your thing like this. Do your thing. And you know we always have our big finish, that jump. If I jump, I'll get out of the shot. So you just jump and I'll try to bounce. Ready? Good morning everybody, good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Jump up and down like this. Jump, 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 jump. Good. Good morning everybody, good morning everybody, good morning everybody. Let's sit and listen like this. I hope you got quiet and are sitting because it's time for our first story. Start with Wemberly Worried by Kevin Henkes. He was the author and the illustrator of this book, and something really neat about all of Kevin Henkes' books, all of his mouse books, that he does interesting, I think he does it for all his books, really interesting things in the end papers that always have something to do with the story. So here we have a few bunnies. Let's see where that comes in. Wemberly Worried. Wemberly worried about everything. She worried about big things. Says, I wanted to make sure you were still here. And she worried about little things. Can you see what happened? She spilled her grape juice. And she worried about things in between. She's wondering, Mama, what if I shrink? Another neat thing about all of Kevin Henkes' mice books is that you can see what people are saying or thinking in these little letters by their heads. So these are the words I read, and then we'll see what the characters are thinking and saying. Wemberly worried in the morning. She worried at night, and she worried throughout the day. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. At home, Wemberly worried about the tree in the front yard. What if it falls on our house? And she worried about the crack in the living room wall. What if it gets bigger and something comes out of it? And she worried about the noise that the radiators made. That's something that some people have in their houses that heat the house, and it makes a sound. She says, what if there's a snake inside? At the playground, Wemberly worried about the chains on the swings, the bolts in the slide, and the bars on the jungle gym. Too rusty, too loose, too high. And always she worried about her doll Petal. Shouldn't Petal have a car seat too? Here she says, Petal's lost forever. And her mom says, I found her, sweetie. And down here, can you see? Where's Petal? In the washing machine. Wemberly says, I'll wait for you, Petal. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. When Wemberly was especially worried, she rubbed Petal's ears. And then Wemberly worried that if she didn't stop worrying, Petal would have no ears left at all. On her birthday, Wemberly worried that no one would come to her party. See, said her mother, there was nothing to worry about. All those kids came. But then Wemberly worried that there wouldn't be enough cake. On Halloween, Wemberly worried that there would be too many butterflies in the neighborhood parade. Do you see Wemberly in her butterfly costume? See, said her father, there was nothing to worry about. But then Wemberly worried because she was the only butterfly. Look at all those costumes. Do you have a favorite? I think I like the elephant. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. Grandma's pointing down the sign that says, take it as it comes. Soon Wemberly had a new worry, school. Wemberly worried about the start of school more than anything she had ever worried about before. It says, new morning nursery school, starting soon. And her dad says, I loved school. Wow, look at this big list of worries that Wemberly had. By the time the first day arrived, Wemberly had a long list of worries. What if no one else has spots? What if no one else wears stripes? What if no one else brings a doll? What if the teacher is mean? What if the room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry? Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. She worried all the way there. And there's Grandma. Grandma says, have fun. While Wemberly's parents talked to the teacher, Mrs. Peachum, Wemberly looked around the room. Then Mrs. Peachum said, Wemberly, there's someone I think you should meet. Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself. She was wearing stripes. And she was holding a doll. Can you see Jewel? She's wearing stripes. She's standing by herself. And she's holding a doll. Did you spot her? I think I found her. At first, Wemberly and Jewel just peeked at each other. This is Petal, said Wemberly at last. This is Niblet, said Jewel. Petal waved. And Niblet waved back. Hi, said Petal. Hi, said Niblet. I rub her ears, said Wemberly. I rub her nose, said Jewel. Throughout the morning, Wemberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together whenever they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. Whoa, look at that tall black tower they're making. Wemberly worried, but no more than usual. And sometimes even a little less. Before Wemberly knew it, it was time to go home. Come back tomorrow, called Mrs. Peachum as the students walked out the door. Wemberly turned and smiled and waved. I will, she said. Don't worry. And here's the last page. Mom and Dad and Wemberly having a little happy dance. It was a good day. Oh, and now it's the end papers again. Do you see something a little bit different? In the beginning, now we know that this is Petal. Lots of petals. And in the end, we have Petal and Niblet because they're friends. The end. Yay! So, I thought it would be fun to sing a bunny song in honor of Petal and all the spring rabbits that are starting to come out. So this is an old song. Your parents might remember it from summer camp. And it's a fun song because we get to tell a little story, and we also get to tell the story with our words and with our hands and some motions. So for example, we're gonna start by talking about a little cabin, which is like a little house. So we would show the cabin with our hands. And then in the cabin there's a window, and there's a man looking out the window, and he sees a bunny. So you see everything has a hand motion. So we're gonna do that all together. But each time we sing it, we're gonna take out some of the words and leave the hand motions. So it's kind of like bingo, like I-N-G-O. So we're gonna do that. But besides singing out words, we're also gonna get faster. Every time we go, it's gonna be kooky. Are you ready? We'll start slow so you can learn all the motions. Little cabin in the woods, little man by a window stood, saw a bunny hopping by, who knocked upon his door. Help me, help, the bunny cried, I am lost and oh so tired. Little bunny, come inside, you can rest beside my fire. Great, so now we're gonna take out the words for the little cabin, but we'll still show it. Ready? Little man by the window stood, saw a bunny hopping by, who knocked upon his door. Help me, help, the bunny cried, I am lost and oh so tired. Little bunny, come inside, you can rest beside my fire. Great, now we're gonna take out the window. Right. Little cat, I messed up. Saw a bunny hopping by, knocking upon his door. Help me, help, the bunny cried, I am lost and oh so tired. Little bunny, come inside, you can rest beside my fire. Okay, now no more cabin, no more window, and no more man looking out and seeing the bunny. We'll just do the motions. Ready? And we're getting faster, have you noticed? Knocking on his door. Help me, help, the bunny cried, I am lost and oh so tired. Little bunny, come inside, you may rest beside my fire. Okay, I think we're taking out the knocking. Yeah. Help me, help, the bunny cried, I am lost and oh so tired. Little bunny, come inside, you may rest beside my fire. Now we're gonna take out the helps. Ready? I am lost and oh so tired. Little bunny, come inside, you may rest beside my fire. Now he's not gonna be lost anymore. I mean, he is, but we're not gonna say it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Little bunny, come inside, you may rest beside my fire. Okay, now we're taking out the combs. I hope I'm doing this right. Ready, and you may rest beside my fire. I'm almost out of breath. I'm glad we're up to the last one. Ready? We're gonna go super fast, and we're not gonna say any words. I think we did it. I don't know. It was close enough. Let me take a breath. And we're going to read one last story before we say goodbye. This is one of my favorite books, and I think you might know it too. It's very popular. It's called Knuffle Bunny, and it's written by Mo Willems. And if you didn't know, you can check at 1 p.m. every day. Mo Willems is doing those doodles with Mo. I'm sure you heard about it. So just Google that and you'll see. It is actually pronounced Knuffle Bunny. I heard him interviewed. It comes from the Dutch, so they pronounce the K. I thought about this book when poor Wemberly was waiting for Petal in the washing machine back in our last story. And so of course it made me think of Knuffle Bunny. And if you don't know the story now, you'll see why. Knuffle Bunny by Mo Willems. Oh, he also does something in his end papers. And it's a bunny in the washing machine. How do you like that? So even before our story starts, we see some background. We see once Trixie's mom and dad got married, and then a little while later Trixie got born. And now it looks like Trixie's getting a little bigger, and they're excited because they bought their first apartment. And now here's the story we're going to hear about Trixie and Knuffle Bunny. Not so long ago, before she could even speak words, Trixie went on an errand with her daddy. Bye, Mom. Trixie and her daddy went down the block and through the park, past the school, and into the laundromat. A laundromat is a place you can go that has lots of washers and dryers so you can do your laundry if you don't have a washer or dryer in your own house. Trixie helped her daddy put the laundry into the machine. She's acting a little crazy. That's fun. But do you see what I see? Watch closely. Dad's not paying attention. And, oh no. Canola Bunny got into the washing machine. I don't think Trixie noticed though. Okay, Trixie got to put the money in the machine and then they left. But a block or so later, Trixie realized something. Does she look happy? Trixie turned to her daddy and she said, "Aggle, flaggle, clabble." "That's right," said her daddy, "we're going home." "Aggle, flaggle, clabble," said Trixie again. "Flaggle, flaggle, whoopie, flappy." "Now please don't get fussy," said her daddy. Well, she had no choice. Trixie bawled. That means she cried really loud. Are you ready? She went boneless. She did everything she could to show how unhappy she was. And by the time they got home, her daddy was unhappy too. As soon as Trixie's mommy opened the door, she asked, "Where's Knuffle Bunny?" Because moms always know. Oops, hey, my book got a little crumpled up. Oh. So the whole family ran down the block and they ran through the park and past the school and into the laundromat. Trixie's daddy looked for Knuffle Bunny and he looked and he looked and he looked and he looked. But Knuffle Bunny was nowhere to be found. Look at Trixie, it looks like she's trying not to cry again. So Trixie's daddy decided to look harder until Knuffle Bunny! She's so excited she jumped up and said, whoops, her very first words. Those were the first words that Trixie ever said. The end. That's Knuffle Bunny. If you liked it, there's 2 more books about Trixie and her bunny. And when we can finally get back to the library, you can check them out. So I'm glad you joined me for story time today. I just wanted to show you one more thing. Can you see? It's good. This is my email address. It's R-I-Z-E-S, R for Rachel, Izes is my last name, at WLSmail.org. WLS stands for Westchester Library System, and if you Google that or go to the Facebook, Westchester Library System, you'll see all kinds of resources for digital media. But I wanted to share my email address because I really miss you, and if you miss me, you can send me a note. You can tell me what you've been doing. You can tell me that you plan to watch this video again next week. It will be new stuff, and if I know you're going to be watching, I can sing your name in a hello song. So I hope to hear from you. I hope everyone's doing really well. Hanging in there, and let's just sing goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, everyone. Glad you came, hope you had fun. I'll see you another day. We'll have more time to read and play. Goodbye, goodbye,